Welcome to the Instagram Stories. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. I thought today we'd consider a little bit more of a foundational topic. We spend a lot of time on this show talking about new features, talking about tactics, but a lot of times it's good to just step back and think about your account as a whole. I came across this article and it's entitled 7 Pointers to Remember When Using Instagram for Marketing. Some of the points I agree with, some of them I don't, but I will explain as we go through the article. The first point is to set specific goals for using Instagram, and that makes sense. Your goal could be to increase brand awareness, your goal could be to get leads, your goal could be to establish a brand as an industry leader. That's one of the things I am focusing on. Or a goal could be, for instance, to generate sales, but you have to decide that first. The second thing is to identify who your target audience is. This is a really hard one for me personally, but you want to think about factors like age, gender, location, income, what motivates them, and interests, other interests besides you as a starting point. You can also review your most popular posts and check who engages with your content the most. You can look at that in your Instagram insights, and that's a really good way to find out what's working and who your audience is specifically. They also recommend checking out the competition. I'm not a huge fan of this idea because I think it can be really hard to look at what other people are doing and be encouraged. I think you're more likely going to be discouraged. So what I've been recommending is instead of looking at people or other accounts that you really admire that are 100 steps ahead of you, look at brands and accounts that are maybe half a step or 1 step ahead of you and figure out what they're doing that you could benefit from. They recommend using an editorial calendar, which makes sense because you want to schedule out posts as much as possible. This way you don't have to think about what you're going to post each individual day. If you don't want to pay for a tool, the best tool is the Instagram Creator Studio, which is free for businesses and creator accounts. The next tip is to make your brand consistent. A lot of times I think people automatically assume that means with consistent colors or color gradients. I'm not really into colors that much, so that personally doesn't resonate with me, but they point out in this article that you can be identified by a number of different things. It could be the voice, the face, the personality, whatever it is. You want your post to have a consistent feel in some respect, and it doesn't have to be tied to color. The next point is to increase your follower base, which feels really basic to me, but they actually point out something that I've talked about on previous podcasts, which is picking a username that stands out and is easy to remember to increase people's chances of finding you. A lot of times I want to tag someone or a brand and their username has the word "the" at the beginning and I forget that, or it has a bunch of underscores in there and I can't remember where the underscores are. So really focus on making sure that your username is easy to remember. The last point is to convert your Instagram followers into customers, which is a lot easier said than done, but they recommend the strategies of offering promotions like using promotional discounts, buy one, get one deals, or other freebies, run contests, offering free products, as long as people win the contest is a good way to drive interaction. And then the third thing they suggest is doing charity work. And they give the stat a whopping 81% of millennials expect businesses to make a public commitment to charity, which I have to say does make a lot of sense. When you show that you're interested in charity, you're not just about yourself, you're also about helping others. And doing that helps people to build an affinity to your brand, which leads to more followers who would support the same cause. And I really like that concept. That's it for today's show. Come back tomorrow for more Instagram news, tips, strategy, and more.